Okay, we're going to call the December meeting of the Trumbull Community Television Commission to order. It is 8:02. Laura, we just lost your camera, if that was intentional. Okay, so is there anybody here for public comment?
There are no attendees at the meeting for public comment.
Okay, so first thing that's up is the minutes from our October 17th meeting. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll motion that.
Thank Jens. I will second that. And then all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, so Amy has let me know that she really can't, commit to this. It's just not working with her schedule. So we are down two commissioners. So we really got to figure out how we're going to fill a couple of these slots because it makes having a quorum, really challenging. So do we have any thoughts? I'll look back at prior.
I'll revisit my my list of friends
Okay.
to see if anyone's interested. I mean, I know a few people who would be great candidates, but they also have to be willing to do it.
Details.
There's
Well,
two things.
Yeah, it's a meeting every 6 weeks, 1 hour. We never go over. It's in the
Right.
morning and it's via Zoom. So I think we make it as easy as possible. I mean, I tried to pitch somebody last night at a thing I was at, and we'll see. The weird thing is, like, I don't know, like, how do we find other people that might be interested in like what we're doing? And because once I started explaining to this guy, because Vince and I were talking at this thing, and this guy's like, well, how do you guys know each other? I'm like, oh my God, we've been on this commission forever.
Mhm.
And like, people just don't, like, they don't understand how hard we've worked to create all these platforms for people to get access, to what we're doing. And he was like, that's like really cool. So I don't know, can we put it, can we put a bulletin board up, Laura, that says we're not just looking for videographers, but for commissioners too? Or is that how we got?
We've done that before. And then
Maybe,
we got people interested, but the people interested, I don't think have industry experience. So, and I don't want to be like, we want people who have some experience with,
well, can we say that in the bulletin
yeah,
board? Say we
yes.
need people with, technical and marketing, right, are the two big things.
Mhm.
But I would also just, I think I would specify that like marketing can be fairly general, but the technical really should be more specific to video production.
Yep. So I would be specific and say social media marketing, because that's where I
Yes.
think we could use a hand. And then studio operations and studio and field operations, technical experience. Would that be the right way to describe it, Jens?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Maybe just generic like video production. Do you think that's broad enough? Because there could be
Nope.
people who do, for instance, like they're like one of my childhood best friends used to work for Fidelity Images in their in-house production department. So she has a ton of video production, even though it's not exactly, and studio production, even though it's not necessarily television, if that makes sense. You know
Well,
what I
I
mean? Like,
think, how are you going to word it?
I was just gonna, should it be like more video production?
And maybe just in parentheses, including studio and field
Right,
operations. So we want to touch as many of those hot button words as we
right.
can.
quite a few things are to do with computer networking, that kind of thing, Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So it's not just video production. I mean, it's a round. What can I say? A well-rounded.
Video distribution platforms, right? That's what we're really looking for.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say someone with a good grasp of computer networking. That puts people off. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, let's go with what?
I'll draft something and then I'll send it to both of you and to Vince, and then we can refine it from there.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, videographers, any
I don't have any new videographers as yet. I've thrown things out to the AV club. We did have some students. I have a student who I might approach, but he's a senior. But he did a great job. So hopefully, as this club gets more mature, we'll be able to have more. There are more people that I'll be able to tap based on, like seeing what they've done and
Yeah.
how reliable they are, et cetera, et cetera.
So are we covering everything we need to cover? And I'm thinking specifically with the loss of Richie.
We are losing the daytime stuff. That's hard because again, like I can't be all things to all people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So maybe that's another bulletin board, is that we specifically need
yeah.
a videographer who's going to be available during the day to cover
Right.
town events.
I mean, I am available during the day. I haven't really been good at looking at what jobs are up. So
We could use
Yeah.
you.
And some of them I haven't posted yet because of the daytime availability, but I'll add all those. No, but Jens, you've been very responsive as far as,
but it's reactive rather than proactive. So
yeah, but most of the stuff, honestly, that's how it's been, where I'm like, okay, here's the stuff that we have, and then again, because also when you threw your hat in the ring as well, it sort of was after a cycle of events came up, for lack of a better phrase.
right.
But that the adult education spreadsheet does get updated more often. So that's the one that would have more daytime stuff.
Okay.
I have them like categorized by adult education, sports, concerts, and that sort of thing. So I tried to, keep them by, rather than just one giant calendar that seems unwieldy, just sort of keep it by
Mhm.
vertical.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys will try to coordinate that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I need to pick up my lavaliers.
I meant to tell you that too. They're sitting in my desk.
Yeah, I know.
So no one can see them.
Okay.
Are you there today? You will be there today?
Yes. As soon as we wrap up, I'm going to head over because DNR is going to be there, and I will get to that when we get to technical.
Sorry. I'll see you.
All right, I will be there.
Okay, so one other thing I needed to add to the administrative agenda today is that our next meeting is January 16th. I am double checking when we have to present our budget.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to move that meeting up. Let me just see if we got an answer yet. No. But if it's even for the 16th, I'm going to be in California for the birth of my grandson. So if we could move change the time so I don't have to do this at 5 a.m. Pacific.
No, oh God, no.
Mhm.
No, you'll have enough of those once the baby's here. You will be up at 5 enough.
Exactly. So I'm up for suggestions on what time would work for everybody.
I actually have
We've
jury
done that
duty.
midday before.
You really, Jens?
What?
I have jury duty on the 16th, so I can't make it either.
So maybe we
Find out.
should just change it because
That's fine.
we
could.
if we pushed it to the 23rd, I'll be back. Well, you know what? Let's leave the January meeting in limbo for the moment until I hear back from the first selectman's office as to when, because we might need to have a special meeting we have to approve the budget before we give it to Vicky. So
Right.
why don't we leave that one in limbo until I hear back from her office and then figure out when we have to do it. But knowing that Jens cannot do we'll have to
I'll be with a
coordinate
group
it.
of my peers.
Okay, so need to reschedule depending upon Vicky meeting. Okay. Awesome, thank you. Okay, finance, we are on target on the budget, no problems. Spending is pretty consistent. We definitely, I mean, Richie was a very constant, you know, he taped about the same amount of stuff every month. So there's a chunk of money there that, is available to another videographer.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm, starting to work up next year's budget, which typically starts with, okay, what have we actually done this year?
Yeah.
So usually it's a conversation about anything different that we want to do next year in terms of equipment or, marketing. So thoughts on that would be appreciated in the next, before Christmas, because that's pretty much when I'll be trying to get this pulled together.
With the good thing about having DNR in the studio, and I had this discussion with Tim yesterday, is that I asked him to sort of pull together the same way that he did last time he was in when he pulled together that studio TLC quote. I asked him to just make a mental note of things that he thinks we need to upgrade. Like the ATEM switcher still works, but it's very outdated.
Mhm.
So I said, can you please make a list, like put together a quote of, what you think, like if we had infinite money, I said, because I said the budget process is coming and we'd like to put some things on the radar, what would you propose? So he's going to get that to me. I would presume could be before Christmas. I can ask that that we get that
Yeah.
before Christmas. I said, it took about a year to get here. So I said, I can't promise when the timeline will be, but these are things we do need to make people aware of. And another thing too, that was brought up to us, Kate, a while ago, which we discussed, but I don't know that we ever move forward with it because, again, we don't have infinite resources, is that the servers were upgraded like right when I first started. So I want to say they're maybe 8 years old. So that's something I will, sorry, I'm writing while I'm thinking and talking. That's a lot of things to do at once. So I will get a quote to replace those.
So those are the servers in the rack?
Yes, in the head end room, they're
Head
the
end room,
servers that
yep.
actually hold the programming and send
Yep.
everything out. Remember when we had to
Yeah.
shut everything down for a couple days and then
Yes, we definitely need to make sure that those are,
yeah, what we're using is out of date and again, I don't know where they are on their life cycle, but that's just information that I need to get as well, just so even if we're not asking for it in the 25, 26 year, maybe I feel like at least now we can start having like 5-year plans,
yes, yes.
which would be
I would say we
fantastic.
should ask. If they're that old, we should ask. And the
Yeah,
worst they can
absolutely.
say is no, and it becomes an emergency,
Yeah,
location.
exactly.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
if they're Windows machines, we could, if we look at what version of Windows they're running, and if that version isn't supported anymore, that's a primary case for replacing them. Definitely. I mean that's just you can't run a TV station on unsupported software.
Well, we
So
were running, yeah, we were we
I
were
know
running
we
the
are, but
control room on Windows 7. So
oh really?
oh yeah. So now the computer is brand spanking new.
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
find out I'll find out the operating systems
okay.
because I have to get in there today anyway and purge the VOD drive. But for instance, like, Kate, when we do the bulletin board system, we have a separate server for that. Now it's integrated into the programming server.
Mhm.
So things like that are, hopefully we'll keep the cost down because it's one piece of equipment rather than two. I don't know.
Yeah,
So that's in terms of the big equipment. I don't know if you want to, for the budget, for other things in terms of the budget. My question is and I don't know if I'm stepping on the third rail or with the students coming in, how does that, you know what I mean? Like it's, what I'm thinking is that the two cameras that we ordered came in. Yay. So now we have four of the tiny little field cameras. What
Mhm.
I'm proposing to do is to take the larger of the two field cameras and sort of allocate those for the students to use in the field.
Well, I think what we need to do is sit down with the THS guys
Yeah.
and decide who's asking for what. I mean, I think it's the commission's responsibility to keep the station on the air in whatever, platform that is, but
Right. And
I think the high school should share some of the cost for
I
the
agree.
use of the studio would be my way of thinking.
And I think that that's a conversation that needs to be had, and especially, I think the kids involved need to know that as well. Because I'm trying to explain, because I feel like, they see all this stuff, and I don't want to be like mine, but at the same time, if we've got dozens of kids using the equipment, it's increasing the wear and tear on what we're paying for.
And we were going to come up with like procedures and stuff, right? I
I
think.
have like a safety guide and procedures and stuff, and I'm in the process of inventorying. But for instance, like, sorry, my kids are still home getting ready for school, so my dog is happy that they're moving. Um, like for instance, if we do allocate those field cameras for student use, they'll need shotgun mics because we only have enough to outfit 4 kits for the station. So, if my responsibility is to my videographers and say there's, 2 concerts and a meeting and an event, I need those cameras. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like the TCTV people should be using the stuff that TCTV paid for. And if the students want to use the older cameras, that's totally fine. But we don't have shotgun mics for them. So either they'll have to wait or they'll have to use them at another time. And that's my concern too, is just equipment like being moved
What's
back.
your shotgun mics?
They're the microphones that attach.
How much are they?
How much are they, Jens? They could be
$250, 300.
So we have money for that. We should just
Okay.
get some. But I agree
Okay.
that there needs to sort of be some clarification of policy.
right. Not
Which I
just
think we're going to have to like try and
Yeah.
put some rules together with them, not the kids, the adults.
yes. Yeah.
And then, every couple of months we sit down and say, all right, does this work? What has come up that we didn't anticipate, or where is there a gray area, and how are we going to clarify?
Right.
This should create the tension that I thought always should have been there at some level.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is a good thing, right? It's an educational access channel is
Right. Yeah.
so
And the plan is to start using the studio in the next semester for digital media production too.
so the more we can try to start to iron out some of this clarity
Mhm.
before next semester, the better.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to have to monitor and see, we're not going to come up with something perfect, but we can come up with something as good as we can think of and then see, all right, does it work or not? What do we have to adjust?
Right.
And who is making sure that the rules are followed by the students, because that's also a sticky wicket, right?
And yeah, that's on, my understanding is that's incumbent on the advisor.
But will the advisor be in the studio all the time when the kids are in there? So how is that going to work?
Right. Well, for the
So-
AV club, that's the case. But for the teachers, he's one of the teachers as well. What's interesting is I do have, we haven't scheduled a date, but Christina Rosati, I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over in terms of agenda items, but Christina Rosati the district is providing for the 3 tech ed teachers. Matt Braxic is one of them, Nick Dodonna is another, and then Jeff Cochran, who's the new hire, who's also the advisor for the AV club, for a 1-day in-school PD to spend with me in the studio to just go over what we've got, how things work. And that's the perfect opportunity to
Yes.
say, you know, we need, and it's not me versus them or vice versa. It's,
Clarity.
yeah,
Because
clarity.
I'm sure the question's going to come up that the kids are going to say, well, I have a free period. Can I go to the studio and work?
Yeah,
And who's supervising them, right?
exactly.
And so, again, not to cause trouble, but to say,
Yeah,
you know, we all know unsupervised kids, not a great idea.
right.
But who's got the authority, you know, we
Who's
just
right. Something happens to the equipment.
want
Yeah.
to try to think ahead of where will we need some clarity and who's going to do what so that, you know, everything.
Especially because I'm not a Board of Ed employee. I am cleared to be with kids, but you know what I mean? Like I am cleared by the Board of Education that they can be with me, but I'm not an employee of the Board of Ed, so I don't have the same responsibility to the students that the teachers do, if that makes sense. Not
Okay,
that I
so-
would ever neglect
So
them.
you said it was Matt, Jeff, and
Nick
oh,
Dodonna.
Nick Dodonna. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we got to get that meeting. Could even be a Zoom call
Yeah,
before Christmas. And I want to be on that call
I was just going to suggest that you be involved as well.
because this is about procedure and that's my thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Trying to
Yeah.
figure out stuff that addresses at least what our initial concerns we can identify.
Yeah.
And then how are we going to periodically look at what we've created and say, is this still the right way to do it? Is there new stuff that's come up? Did stuff
Right.
not work the way that we anticipated it? How do we make it better?
Right.
Okay,
kids
but
sounds
that
like-
is great that they got the 1-day PD in there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
Yes.
do kids do other things unsupervised? Are they allowed to go to the music room and play an instrument without supervision?
No, well now it became a problem. So now the band director has a sign on the door, on both doors to the band room that say no students allowed in here except band and orchestra students when the band director's present.
Okay, all right, that's pretty clear.
So yeah.
Yeah, and we'll feel all that out, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I
I was
guess
just
it's a
curious if it was something that was done
precedent already.
in other places, but not.
And do the instrument, I mean, just to go on that tangent, do the instruments that the kids play belong to them or to the school?
A little of both. It depends on the instrument and it depends on the student. Like instruments like percussion, for instance, belong to the school because students aren't expected to buy a marching snare and a harness. But a lot of the kids who play smaller band instruments, trumpet, clarinet,
Yeah. Okay.
those
Okay.
kinds of instruments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My
All right,
son owns his trumpet, but the tuba player doesn't own the tuba. So
They made my brother be the tuba player because he was 6'4" and he was the only one that could carry.
you should see the size of the kid. One of the tuba players this year is a petite little girl. She's about as big as the horn itself. It's like she's
Wow.
this tiny thing holding this giant brass instrument.
Okay, so we need to get a meeting with Matt and Jeff and Nick to
Mhm.
work on studio procedures. Right?
And if Christina's available, that can't hurt either.
Yep, okay. Okay,
I mean, I don't think that's net. I don't think that's. I don't think we should hold off on getting her availability, but if she is available, at the very least, I think she should be in the loop on what's happening.
Okay, so can you tackle that? And then,
Yeah.
you know, we'll obviously bring back whatever we come up with, Jens, to the group, to the commission, so everybody will have a chance to, you know, add their questions or thoughts.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so let's get back to the agenda.
Sorry about that huge detour.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things to talk about with that group, though. It's procedure, but it's also equipment and who pays.
Right. And you're right, financial responsibility for what?
Whose budget? Okay. This is gonna be really interesting. Okay, so programming.
Programming. Well, football, the fall sports season has concluded. It was not the ending we were hoping for, but Matt and I at least were able to stay dry on Thanksgiving, sort of. So there's that.
Oh, what a miserable day.
Oh, Kate, I mean, Matt will vouch for this. So the press box at St. Joe's basically is like a plywood box that somebody built. It's not like our press box. And they put us all the way, like on one side, there's the stairs up, you come in, and there's the whole length of the windows. And then there's a ladder, just a regular wooden ladder that leads you up to the roof. So we're up on the side by the ladder, and Jeff is on the end, and then Matt's next to him because he was able to put the camera, like the third leg of the tripod, on the ledge to sort of get the footage. And I'm sitting on the back side. So on top of the press box are tents, and it's pouring rain. So the roofs of the tents fill with water. And as the wind blows, it's blowing these huge, like, it's like somebody took a 5-gallon bucket dumping water down the ladder. We're like, what is going on? It was insane. Poor Jeff. I hope his
Oh my
computer is
gosh.
okay. It was crazy.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah. So that's done.
So nobody got pneumonia?
Not on the Trumbull side.
Not that we know of.
I can't speak for the others.
Yeah.
Concert season has begun. And let's see. What else? I'm sorry, all my notes are in the studio because I had anticipated going into the office. Concert season has begun. What else is going on? We're just still trying to cover as much stuff as possible. We have some adult education things at the library that we're recording. We're waiting for basketball to start, which will be in about a week or two. The season starts. And then some on the original programming front. I'm going to work with Rena. Monday, we're going to meet at the mall to record some footage for Main Street Dollars again, which will be another interstitial / promo for economic development and community development. I leveraged my mom hat for the station. My oldest son is taking an elective called Film as Literature. So I was talking to the teacher, Andrea Lawrence, and I mentioned that I worked at the station, and I said, how cool would it be? Because one of the assignments that my son had was writing a short script. And I said, how can we work together? Because you're giving, and she was like, yes, I have wanted to do this. So we started a conversation, and she wants to loop in the journalism teacher as well. I said, please, let's all work together and find a way to help these kids, because again, and Mrs. Andrea Lawrence had said that her dream would be to have a student film festival. I said, let's do it. We can get it on the air. Like we've got, we can help you make this happen, and it'll be something for both of us. And then, and there's got to be a way to get the journalism classes working with the digital media classes. So starting this conversation hopefully will, move forward with some content, some opportunities, and who knows, videographers. So that was my conversation a couple weeks ago, which was very exciting, and I'm looking forward to
Very cool.
yeah. The class, Film as Literature, sounds awesome. My son has loved it. So I was like, let's find a way to, because he said, oh, we have to write, a script, and then they write storyboards. And I was like, oh. So because at back to school night, I walked up to her and I said, we need to have a little chat.
Yeah.
So I started that conversation. So I will keep that going, because I think that'll be another evolution as with the digital video production classes and stuff.
Okay, cool. I'm just looking back at minutes from last month to see if there's anything else. La, la, la.
Oh, I also have I started a conversation again with Sue Jacosi at the health department for more, if she had any topics that she wanted to, produce some more short videos on. And she says she'll work on that. She has some students. I'm not sure if there are student volunteers or if there's like an organization. I'm not sure if it's, just kids interested in health careers, but she's like, oh, we'll have some students so we can work with them. I said, yep, let's do it. So we'll see how that goes. And then I also want to reach out to Colin at EMS and see if he has anything.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's get to the technical stuff.
Yes.
So the studio, let's see. So we have the studio update status and then the Sling Studio
Mhm.
situation. So
So the studio update status is Tim thinks they'll be done today. I'm not sure if he wanted to get started around 8 this morning, but the delay sort of shifted his timeline a little bit. But that's okay. So hopefully he'll be done today. Like I said, the computer was replaced. They're bringing the power supply today. He just cleaned up the rack a little bit. So that will be, the studio will be able to do 3-camera shoots again, and then we'll have the a new streaming encoder, and with the backup, and then there's also, now we can, if we want, actually, this is really cool, Kate. I love this. Next year will be very interesting. We can set up a Zoom meeting like the Board of Ed as an input. So we could potentially create a Zoom meeting on election night and have Katie Boland students at the polling places and remote them in.
I
Yeah.
love
And I
that.
was like, as soon as Tim was like, oh, do you ever use Zoom in here? And I'm like, oh, yes, we will. So I'm very
That would
excited
be
about that.
super cool.
Yeah. So we now have that ability, which is really neat.
So it's remote Zoom meeting capability.
So we could basically, the same way the Board of Education or council chambers can bring in a Zoom panelist as a video source, we will be able to do the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes. That's super
Very
exciting.
cool.
Yeah. I just have to figure out a little bit of logistics of like, if we're going to do like an in-studio interview, again, like I have to just make sure everything in the studio is working so that.
So we could use it for election reporting from the polling sites.
We can do that. I mean, if we want to we could do more in-studio productions where, say, the way that Donna used to do Healthy Town or all other studio things, people don't have to actually come. I can actually do, we could do it on Zoom, and as long as we have somebody in the control room working in the control room, we can have somebody in studio or, and do it that way and make it look like when news broadcasts, again, throw from the studio to a panelist, to a guest on Zoom.
I think with the new equipment we can also use NDI, which is you have a client on your phone, and then you dial in. So basically, let's say we wanted to cover the what's the race called from the mall to the high school, graduation.
Oh, the final flight.
Final flight. You could have people with cell phones along the route. So I mean, there's tons of options but it requires somebody who knows how to use it and are willing to do it, not just while it's fun, but also, when you've done it for a while, it's kind of loses its attraction, and especially with students. So it's
Right.
Cool. Very cool. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, Sling Studio.
Knock wood, that is still working. I actually, At the suggestion of my brother, I joined a Facebook group called, was it High School AV Production, Jens, or something like that?
Yeah, I'm on
Um,
that too. Yeah.
And it's a great group, and there are a lot of other schools using Sling Studio that they've had far longer than we have, and it's still operational, which is great because it's super easy and it integrates really well. I still have all that other, that other list of a non-Sling Studio replacement, which would probably, like I said, would end up costing about what we paid for the equipment we have. It's a
Mhm.
lot more involved though. Sling Studio is super easy. Matt's run, all I have to do is show somebody what they need to do. And it's very easy. Like I said, Matt's run live stream events before as
Mhm.
well from using it.
The
So-
Hollyland transmitters we're looking. I don't know if we got them already, but they're in the
We-
budget.
We have not bought them, but we had outlined the Hollyland, and then we would need something like a YOLO Live or something. I'm trying to find something that's as easy to use so as many people can do
Mhm.
it as possible. So, I can do it when I'm available, but if I'm not, or if somebody else wants to learn how to do it, they should have that. You know what I mean? I want something that's easy enough. Whereas I
Right.
feel the Sling Studio is super easy. Like
Yeah.
I can talk you through it on the phone, whereas I feel the Hollyland setup is a little more involved because you
I
have,
get it.
more pieces working
But
together.
functionality wise, it would give us the same
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you feel like that connection is going to keep us in okay shape?
I hope so. Again, I think it will, but I
So we're going to put in for us,
think we should
replacement?
put it, I think we should put in for it for the replacement because again, God forbid anything happens and
so get me the dollars and.
okay. Yeah.
um,
Are we allowed to sell our equipment on a Facebook group like the high school video? Because that a lot of people do that. I've noticed a lot of schools or there's a lot of churches there too.
I
If they
don't
have
see why
equipment
not.
they're getting rid of, they're selling it there. But
I don't
I
see
don't know
why
how
not.
our
We'll
accounting.
have to find out, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Or do we
Bill,
sell
do
it
you
to
have
the-
any idea if you do
I,
that?
I know the purchasing department does sell things from time to time on it's like government equipment lists. I mean, they sell trucks and cars and things like that and equipment, but I'm not sure what the process is to sell.
But in theory, it's not a new idea.
No, I mean,
Okay.
there are plenty of municipalities that sell equipment.
Okay, and I'm sure there's paperwork, but
we can sell it
there's
to
already precedent for it. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Okay, what else?
there's just a few, I'm trying to think of equipment things. I have found some other camera bags. So if we end up, as I suggested, like shifting some equipment over to the students, I can do, we can make do with what we have. I would like to get 2 more camera bags though, because we have 2 proper camera bags, but the 2 smaller Panasonics that we have are using old overhead projector bags as camera bags, and I would like to get.
Probably have money to do that now if they're not, so get me
Okay.
the quotes and let's get them.
Okay, I would like to, because there are a couple things I would like to do. So I would like to do, the camera bags, and then
You said the
microphones.
the microphones.
So the
Okay.
shotguns are
Shotgun.
250 a piece. The ones
Um,
we already used, the NTG to the Rode.
Okay, so that, and then we also need to replace a boundary mic because unfortunately, I'd loaned one to Richie, and I don't know. I don't know anyone in his family. The people that I met at his service, I don't know how to contact them. I don't.
Yeah, so get another one. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, I'm not gonna. That's a really uncomfortable situation. I don't know that it's. I don't even know. They might have gotten rid of it at this point. I don't know what happened. So, yeah, we do need to replace the boundary mic. So I'll order a new one for that as well.
Yep.
All right, so I'll look into camera bags, 1 boundary mic, and 2 shotgun mics.
Mhm. Okay,
And
cool.
yeah, I mean, either 2, yeah, because we only need 2. And then we're set with lavaliers. I think we have 3 that work, maybe a 4th.
Well,
And
like I said, we have, there's 1,500 in the budget for miscellaneous stuff.
okay,
So let me see if I can quickly tell you how much of that we've used. That's in my other folder that I don't have with you right now.
if you want to email that to me later, that's fine too.
Yeah, but I'll send you what we've bought so far, but I think we have money.
Okay,
Okay.
but I'll get you
Um,
that list of of items anyway.
Okay. And
And
then we'll decide what we can buy now and what might have to wait.
exactly.
Okay, marketing.
I just reached out again. That's something I apologize. Everything sort of everything always just, you know, bubbles up. I've reached out to Mike McHugh. We're going to try to have a Zoom conversation. He's still interested. I just need to talk to him and see, what kind of experience he has. He does work during the day, so
Yeah, but I mean, a couple hours a week is probably all he needs to do,
yeah.
right? Yep.
Yeah, I don't. But again, it just depends on what kind of
He knows
present.
how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. If do we want to upload highlight clips from basketball games? If that's the case, does he know how to edit video? Like those kinds of questions. So that might be some more.
Okay. Okay. Trumbull High connection. Anything beyond what we were talking about before?
The Violins of Hope program happened.
It was great.
It was what an amazing. I'm so disappointed I had to leave like 2/3 of the way through, but I did edit the piece. I have to get permission. I would love to put it on Trumbull Community Television. I happen to know the woman from the Jewish Federation of Greater Fairfield County. She's a friend of mine. My son and her son were friends in elementary school, so I can reach out to her to find out if Trumbull Community Television can put that program on the air. Kate, it was amazing. This organization has violins that were rescued from Holocaust victims,
Yep.
and they restore them to full playing condition. And the docent spoke about, how the organization came to be, how they got some of the violins. The luthier spoke.
So how many violins are we talking about?
They brought 3, and 4 Trumbull High students performed on them. So the docent spoke for about 20 minutes maybe. The students performed. The luthier spoke, and then there was a little bit of Q&A with the students and then with the luthier. So the whole program is about
What's the luthier?
he repairs the violins.
I didn't know that wasn't even a thing, but
Yeah.
and that's the name that you're
The
a luthier?
stringed instruments, so guitars and violins, but their specialty is violins.
Did not know that. New vocabulary word. I can't believe that's never been in a crossword puzzle.
Right?
We
That would be
have-
a perfect one. But it was a great program. So I
really was.
edited that for TCTV, but the kids want to I know that Christiana would like a shorter, maybe 20, 25 minute, 30-minute version for classrooms. So I told I gave him the full version. I said, listen, I know the kids wanted to have a try at it, to edit it, but I don't know what Chris and I have discovered is, again, they're high school students. They have a lot going on. I don't know if where this is on their radar and if they're going to hit any deadline that's needed. So Chris and I are going to meet, and he's going to give me some suggestions on where to pare it down for a classroom version. So we're going to work on that. But like I said, I do want to reach out to Lisa Becker to see if TCTV can broadcast it, because it's so, I mean, like you said, Jens, what a powerful program.
Mhm. Why can't it be assigned as homework to the kids so that they have a deadline? They have to, I mean, it's without, so it's outside their normal
It's through the
curriculum,
AV club, yeah.
but I don't see how imposing a deadline would be different than you have to
No,
hand in homework at a certain time.
yeah, I don't know that was, I mean, it was communicated to them, but it was communicated to the student. It was not communicated to the students who are editing the project. So, you know,
Okay.
it's, I don't know. And I'm putting that on the principal. That's not for me.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. So I'm like, I'm doing what I need to do for this. Chris was very apologetic. I'm sorry you had to edit this. I'm like, don't apologize. I did this for the station. And if the school can benefit, that's great. I'm happy to do that. But
it's great. I mean, it's multicam footage and it's fairly simple. And for a student or a group of students that are, interested in this stuff, they couldn't really ask for a better project. So,
absolutely.
But I totally get the administrative issues there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was cute because you could definitely see because I know both of the boys who were working the camera. I've known them for a while, and you could definitely see their personality in how they recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Because the student who was on close up was like, he was just basically, it was a lot of experimenting, which is fine. I want him to do that, but some of it I couldn't use only because it was like a bit, he's moving the camera around a lot and it's shaky, which again, I'm not complaining. This was the first time he had recorded anything. I still was able to use a lot of his footage, but it was just cute where you can, see their personalities and how they recorded stuff.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so anything else on Trumbull High?
No, I feel like we're in a good place. I'm really happy with.
There's more engagement than we've ever remotely had.
Yes.
And so many touching different people, which is we always just hoped that we could get one person that wanted to work with us.
Right.
And now it sounds like you're connecting with maybe a half dozen different teachers, which is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying, like I said, as soon as my son said he was taking film and literature, I'm like, oh, this sounds cool. And then like I said, at back to school night, when Andrea gave the overview of the class, I was like, oh, we need to talk because there's a lot of overlap.
What's her name again?
Andrea Lorenz, Lorenz. Lovely.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right, anything we haven't covered?
I'm sure I'll think of something when we hang up, but.
All right, so the main thing though that's outstanding is that we got to get a date for our next meeting to approve the budget. So I'm checking my email as we're sitting here and I don't see a response from Kathy yet, but it's still only 9 o'clock. So once I have some idea of when we're going to have to present our budget, I will come back with some dates to put something in front of you guys.
And then Kate, I will get you the quote to replace the Sling Studio. I will also get you the head end update quote.
Yep.
And then whatever DNR comes back with, their recommended upgrades, I'll get that to you as well.
Yeah. And then I would just say do POs on the camera bags and the
okay.
Shotgun mics.
I'll do them separate if need be, just to make it easier because one for the camera bags, one for the mic.
Yeah, do them separate because that way I can make sure they're going to fit in the budget.
Yeah, and then
Okay, cool. Feel like we got good momentum.
Yes.
And then if everybody can just keep their eyeballs peeled for anyone that they think would be appropriate to be on the commission. We could get 2 more would be great. Yeah, but 1 more would certainly help.
And I will send the 3 of you, like a bulletin board, whatever slide I create for that. Because that can also be shared on social media if we choose. And I will, like I said, I'll get you that and then we can massage the text.
Awesome.
Just to confirm, one has to be a registered Republican, one has to be a registered Democrat, right?
We can have affiliated, unaffiliated too.
So they don't need to be registered to vote in Trumbull at all.
They have to be registered, but they don't have
Sure.
to be registered to a party, a particular
Right.
party, I should say.
Right.
Oh, I thought it had to be split between.
No, we just can't have more than, we can't have more than. I gotta remember this split here, but you can't have, say, if we were just gonna look at two parties, you can't, you can have 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats, or 3 Democrats and 2 Republicans, but the split can't be more than that. But we can definitely have unaffiliated. But given the position we're in right now, you're a Democrat, I'm a Democrat, Vince is a Republican, so we can't have another Democrat. We've got to find unaffiliated or Republican.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Well, we can't have more than one Democrat, because that's true, yeah, because if you got one
Yeah, we
Democrat. and
can't
one
have 3 of
affiliate-
each. I'm wrong about that. So we
Oh,
can't,
okay.
we can't have more of one than the other. So we have to find an affiliate. I'm going to double check with Alicia.
All right. No, I'm just making sure because
But we have enough Democrats right now. I don't think we can have another Democrat.
Okay.
all right.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Right. I'm just going to check on party requirements. Okay.
Nope, just want to shout out to Matt because he's on the call, but I appreciate all the editing that he's doing, and
Thanks for getting up early, Matt.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes,
They
big
can
help.
keep me
On a snow
employed.
day, especially on a snow day when you
Yeah.
could have slept in.
All right.
I was so surprised when I woke up this morning. I was just not expecting there to be anything measurable.
I don't know why I didn't bring anything home. I mean, they kept saying, "Oh, Wednesday
Yeah,
midnight,
The
Wednesday."
dusting.
Well, when I
So-
left the school yesterday at about 3:30, it looked like it was about to snow. It just had that look, and I was like, yeah.
Well, and I was out at 9 and it was raining. And I
Yeah.
thought, okay, well, there's not going to be any snow.
The message that I got 5:30 this morning on my phone was that the north, like the northern part of Trumbull was slipperier, and I'm sure Monroe and Newtown and
Mhm.
is worse. My
Okay.
kids aren't complaining. They're happy.
Yeah. All right, great. Good to see everybody. Happy holidays. I'll be back in touch on the date of our next meeting. And I feel like we're really on a roll. So
Yes.
thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks,
All right.
Kate, for doing all this,
Yes. Thank you, Kate.
keeping people focused and sending out the agendas and all that stuff. That's a lot of work.
Not too bad. So I appreciate the appreciation. All right. Have a good
Okay.
one, you guys.